Replace. This was actually a game they showed before the awards. It was the pre-show awards. Replace is a 2D, 2.5 kind of retro kind of game. This was mentioned a couple years ago and it got delayed, and now we saw some more stuff of it. Looks really good. Don't know too much about it. Looks like it's a guy on the run, and maybe it's called Replace. So he's this guy on the run. Maybe he's being replaced. I just like how it looks. Graphically, it's something new to the retro kind of style of it. So I think it looks really good.
It looks like I like some of the because from the trailer and some of the screenshots, it looks like it's doing a little bit of mixture of like you're saying 2.5D and the storytelling. So I think at the very least that would be something to keep eyes on, because I know that a lot of the indie games have really been getting you lately.
Yeah, I think a lot of indie games, like, it's funny. Someone posted, I'm not going to say his name, but he says that is it just me, or the games are getting more graphically, but the creativity is not there anymore? And my counter that, I didn't post it, I just thought about it. I'm like, I think it's because you are looking at the AAA so much that you're not looking at the little people that are the ones coming out with creativity, and that's the indies. The indies are the ones. If you want creativity, then you got to look harder at the indie games. Yeah. You're going to have to dig. They're not going to come up on the surface. You're not going to see these games come in giant articles. If you maybe one time, but you're never going to hear them again. So if you want to, you got to dig in there to find those creativity. Because I can knock out and tell you a lot of games that are a lot of creativity, a lot of these, but they're just not going to be your highlight AAAs because they don't get the marketing. They don't have much money for the marketing that they need to do. So some of these indie games that get announced at the Game Awards is pretty impressive. Or these are games that got some recognition, that they got a platform. For instance, there's a new game. It's not one of my choices here, but the people that won for Celeste, that won Indie of the Year a couple of years ago, they have a new game they had just showed. That makes sense why they made it up there. But a lot of indie game developers that do their big shout outs, they're probably not going to be on the big stage like that. So if you want to find creativity, there's a reason why I like indie games a lot. Because that's where their hearts are in more now. Instead of the AAAs, they're more focusing on, what the people really want and whatnot.
And to piggyback on that, AAA titles, the studios and the publishers are going to err on the side of what is safe. Mm-hmm. What is safe, what they know sells or sold before and will sell again. Hence why you get sequels, you get derivatives of these popular genre redefining games. You get derivatives of that and derivatives of that. Ultimately, if you're saying when are the AAA studios going to do something creative or new, they're probably going to do it a handful of years after an indie studio did it. Mm-hmm. An indie studio is going to do this creative, new, awesome idea, and then a AAA studio is either going to gobble them up or take some key people from there and make another version of that game. Mm-hmm. It's happened before. It will happen again. It always happens.
Yeah.
But I like indie titles, mm-hmm. but like you said, they don't get the highlight because they can't afford it sometimes.
Yeah. But speaking on Replace, the reason why it draw to me and what I liked about it is a sci-fi kind of a bit of dystopia. It looks like a guy on a man on the run, so you can connect that to say like Total Recall. Always on the chase, or The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. It just looks like his, or you can even argue Minority Report it looks like somebody's identity's been taken and he's trying to figure out what's going on. So it looks like he's being replaced for something. We don't know yet, but the trailer shows a lot of great stuff, and it really shows that next level of that HD 2D that's been thrown around a lot in the Square Enix library. We're seeing this now with more of the side scroller kind of games like this. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
And it's definitely a mature type game because you are, like you said, you're a guy on the run. It's probably a lot of violence. You're having to I'm seeing gang fight from some of the screenshots. I'm seeing fights with gangs running along the train. Helicopters and things chasing you.
Yeah, you almost have the gameplay kind of reminds me. It could be possibly like a flashback or another world. It could be that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be sci-fi retro futuristic.
Yeah.
So retro future. So like you were saying, Harrison Ford, you might see some Blade Runner or Total Recall, rather the 80s or the 2000s version.
Yeah.
And I'm reading here a little bit of information. Free flow combat.
Okay.
So that looks like that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Did you get a date on that, by the way?
According to their frequently asked question, they say it will be released in 2022. But according to the trailer, they said 2023.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it'll probably come out late spring, 2023.
So I'm excited. If it comes to the Switch, that'd be an awesome place to play that game also. But I think it's Xbox.
Yeah, it looks like Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Game Pass, Steam, and Epic Game Store. So
yeah, so I'm not surprised by that. But we did get Ori and all those games on the Switch, so there's a possibility that could slide over there in the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anything's possible.
Microsoft's real buddy with Nintendo.
Yeah, yep.